What would you actually change about airports? I want our bathroom stalls that are designed to accommodate both the person and their carry-on bags. If the doors open inwards, the stall needs to be longer so that you can maneuver a roller bag in without hitting the toilet. If the doors open outwards, the stalls can be about the standard size, but the bathroom needs to be more spacious. Have heavy duty hooks at waist height that can actually hold a backpack. Agreed, nothing better than cramming all your crap into a bathroom stall and having to play Twister trying to get out. Also, enough bathroom stalls would be great. Always fun to stand in line behind 30 people when you're just trying to take a crap. Especially when the toilets flush like a goddamn whirlpool and you're pressing yourself against the door to avoid the toilet water spray. Sleep pods to rent, so when I miss a flight and the next is tomorrow I don't have to sleep on chairs, hoping my stuff doesn't get stolen. Some airports have those, like in Milan, although you have to book it in advance, which makes no sense. Yeah, they should take your card as a deposit when you enter one and then charge you when you exit for however much time you spent. I would go in one, even if I wasn't tired, just to get away from the crowds. More seats, vending machines for cheaper snacks, and better Wi-Fi connections. Last year I went to Turkey on my own. 2 flights with a stop in Istanbul. I had promised everyone to send them a WhatsApp message in the airport. I arrived in Istanbul and there was not a single Wi-Fi hotspot in the airport. Not even Burger King and similar restaurants provided one. I asked the security people and they confirmed they just don't have free Wi-Fi there at all. How the frick does that happen in a city this big with a big number of tourists visiting every year? That's nuts. If you ever got stuck there for a 10-hour delay or something, you'd end up spending a fortune on phone calls. I work in airports all the time. In the UK, airports like Stansted and Heathrow make you walk a full freaking mile along this winding path through the middle of booze and perfume shops before getting anywhere remotely close to a flight gate. And what takes the piss is you can see the old gap in the wall that takes you right to the gates that they have filled in before you walk the mile to get to the other side of that exact wall. Would love to put a hole in that wall. So frustrating if you need to run for your flight. Everyone ambles along through the winding path at a freaking snail's pace. Wheelie bags everywhere. Hate it. Have you ever had to walk to the furthest departure gate at Gatwick North Terminal? Forgot the gate number. I felt like Frodo and Sam after that bloody journey. People stand the frick back from the baggage carousel until they see their bag. Oslo has a red line about a meter back and people stand behind it. After experiencing that, I can't stand this anymore. And how hard is it to draw a line on the floor? Pretty sure Montreal had a line around the carousels too. People gave zero fricks. They huddled around the carousel like they wanted to hump the bish. Just because it's a water bottle doesn't mean it's a bomb. This is exactly something a person using water bottle bombs would say. Isn't it due to acid attacks? Just let me feel like a person. Give me a little more space, a little softer cushioning, an outlet for me and the person next to me. For a place where I'm often expected to exist for hours, let me stay in that space and comfort for those hours instead of scrounging for space, power, healthy food, and any amount of comfort. Airline lounges exist for this exact reason. It could be provided to everyone, but then you would have half the people complaining. Why do my tickets have to pay for someone else's X/Y/Z? I don't need special comfy cushions or an outlet. I just want to get from A to B, so I only want to pay for that. More likely explanation is that by making airports uncomfortable, they can charge people for basic comfort. Airports and airlines deal with complaints constantly anyway. I would make food cheaper at the airport. In my experience, most airport restaurants serve relatively small portions for a high price. I'm hungry when I travel, but the cost of my travel also means I can't buy as much. Look into the lounges if you have a long layover. Yes, they cost around $50. Sometimes they are included in your credit advantages, but you get free food, free booze, better seats, better Wi-Fi, showers and no poor people. If you are gonna pay $25 a burger and $8 a drink, you've covered 2/3 of the price of the lounge already. How do you think you'd taste medium rare? Every large hub airport, especially those in areas notorious for weather interference, hello Chicago, should be required to have stranded passenger areas with small but comfortable and private spots to lie down, and a store where you can buy real food, blankets, toothbrushes, phone chargers, etc. after hours. I've been stranded overnight in airports twice. Both times it was such a degrading, miserable experience. I felt like I was being punished. I saw the metal gates slide down over every restaurant and store in the airport right after I realized I was stuck there. There was nowhere to lie down except the floor, and it was freezing cold, and I had no jacket or anything. 18 hours of just cold, sleep deprived nothingness. I was talking to another stranded passenger at Chicago Midway and he said people get stuck there like us all the time. Couldn't you leave and find a place to eat/sleep outside of the airport? Midway and O'Hare are both connected to cheap public transit. It's not like the Denver airport, which is in the middle of nowhere lol. Also, Midway is a pretty small airport and they would have less amenities than larger airports like O'Hare. If you're not flying Southwest, I would try to catch flights out of O'Hare instead next time. Dyer has a light rail connected, a hotel connected to the main terminal, and a large number of hotels on Tower Road, which is like 5 minutes from the airport. The airport is far from downtown, yeah, but it's hardly difficult to find a hotel out there with all the options that popped up to support the airport. Make that SA follow all the recommendations of a non-partisan group of peer-approved security experts. Require airlines to only advertise all in ticket price, instead of separating out all the mandatory taxes and fees. /edit, and require a specific amount of baggage be included in the price, so each airline is on an equal footing, and stop charging more for the ability to seat your family together. That would do it, honestly. Massive improvement for everybody, minimal negative impact to anybody. Spirit, but our entire business model. I love the crap out of Spirit. There's a great interview I heard with the CEO over there who I think was coming from Delta. I don't have the exact quote, but the gist of it was this. CEO, I spent decades trying to compete on quality, offering better options and better flight times and a better experience, and people book on Orbitz or Kayak or whatnot and the only thing they pay attention to is price. I decided people wanted to have access to an incredibly cheap option, and so we give it to them. Interviewer, so you're the Walmart to other airlines target? CEO, we're the dollar store. Spirit exists because people want to fly as cheaply as possible, and they make it happen. You can fly with no bags at all. If you fly with no bags on Delta, you're still paying for the price of a carryon included in your ticket, not Spirit. Spirit breaks it all down. All that said, I hate flying Spirit. It's a miserable experience. But I'm glad it exists, because I think it's good for everyone to see what the bare bones experience is like. I'm now paying a lot more attention to what airlines I choose to fly and what their amenities are when I book flights. It still amazes me that with over 1,000 of people expected in customs, you get to that bit and there's like 4 people working. What is this? XP. Pay border staff more, have 100 of them on, and include play areas for kids. Play area for kids would be my request as well. I'm seeing play areas more and more, even in smaller airports. Thank goodness. The cost of food in the food courts for Sydney and Melbourne Airport. I'm not paying $15 for a freaking wrap or a fancy sandwich that's been sitting there all day, so it's always McDonald's or KFC or some mainstream fast food chain, because at least they keep their prices consistent, even if I don't feel like it. At the height of the mining boom, I remember Perth Airport having pints of Guinness for $17. Yeah, I'll pass. Or the shop they're advertising pie and can of Coke for only $14 %. I generally go and hang in the newsagent / bookshop / cafe. Still expensive, but nicer. Put a post office in SA security so I can mail the stuff that's over the weight limit or that I forgot was in my carry-on. I'm a frequent traveler, but I forgot about my body spray and new bottle of liquid hair product in my carry-on once, so that was $50 in the garbage. I would have paid the $10 to ship it. There is a service for that at TPA. At Narita Airport security found my Leatherman that I had forgotten was there. The nice security man asked if I had a friend I could give it to, but no. I asked him if there was a post office nearby, and he let me go mail my Leatherman to myself. Lower the price of food and beverages at airport eateries. They are too expensive and the quality is often mediocre. Granted, I don't fly much, but the last time I had to, I would have been happy if they had raised the quality of the food to mediocre. This depends on where you are. Lots of airports in larger cities with a good food scene, SFO, PDX, C, etc. have local restaurants which are quite good. Pre 9/11 security. Airports were intended to become malls, a one-stop place for everything, not just related to travel. That Sam immediately killed that idea. Hutil. Instead of showing the latest news on monitors all around the airport, they should show cat videos. Just a live stream of kittens and puppies. My airport experience would automatically be 100% better. More plugs, more and cheaper food options, and a quicker airport experience for people that fly a lot and are quick through all the controls and checks. That last part exists. It costs money, but it does exist. You mean separate check? Literally half the time I try to use it, it's not available as a separate line. You have to wait in the regular security line, then you get a card basically saying you don't have to take your shoes off. Some lockers would be nice. If I have to wait 3 hours for a flight, it would be a godsend to not have to lug a bag around. Now I use a backpack as a carryon, but still, your back gets sweaty after a while. If there were lockers, I could just throw that crap in there and come back when I'm ready. I understand there are probably security concerns, but there has to be a way. They used to have them, but they're afraid people will plant bombs in them. If you do it past security, your stuff would have been already searched, right? I get the fear though. Sucks. I actually work in airport management, but more so on the technical actual airfield side of things. So I've thought about this a bit. From the traveler side of things, I'd really love more options for people with dietary restrictions. So many of the airport restaurants are operated by some company like Humshost or Hudson News, and they are terribly mediocre with high staff turnover and poor training. So they can't be trusted to deal with dietary concerns. And the convenience shops they have usually have no quick meal type thing that will accommodate dietary needs. Aside from that, I'm with most of you. Good Wi-Fi, enough seating, lots of outlets, etc. And airports are trending this way. It just takes time to adapt. They don't want the terminal constantly under construction to add more outlets, which could be a big project, or more bandwidth, or more seating, because the small planes are going away. So they have to wait for a large terminal or concourse refresh and do it all at once. Your ideas about food choices are right on. I'm T2 diabetic and have to watch carbs, bread, sugar, fried stuff. Too often there is virtually nothing I can eat at the airport, and I have to choose between starving or wrecking my body chemistry for 24 hours. Just do everything that the Singapore airport does in Voila. Perfect. Yes, every airport needs an indoor waterfall and koi ponds. There has got to be a way to better streamline the security line. Do I know how? No, but someone out there probably has a really good idea to make things go faster while having the same level of security. The whole process of arriving and actually getting to your gate needs an overhaul. One thing that would help is if every airport actually had the same guidelines and enforced them. I fly a good amount, and some airports you can leave your tablet in your bag, others you have to take it out. Some you can leave coats on, others you can't. Some want your backpack in a bin, other places don't. It's this kind of stuff that causes people to have to redo their items because they didn't set them up correctly the first time, or if their stuff already went through the scanner, then their bag gets flagged and their stuff has to be searched. Yeah, I got treated like a criminal that time I forgot to take my laptop off my backpack flying out of JFK. As I have suffered through quite a few flights lately, I'm more concerned about the inhumane configuration of economy seating in aircraft. I truly believe airline CEOs should be forced to fly for 100 hours in their cheapest seats, before they approve plane configuration. However, airports also could be greatly improved without that much effort, and I'm sure there are some places in the world that have truly awesome airports, but thus far I haven't experienced them. In the past few years, I have experienced airports from Fort Lauderdale to Addis Ababa to Munich to Auckland, and here's my wish list. 1. A drugstore past security, where you can buy things like cough syrup and shampoo and other liquids or things you've forgotten. 2. Lazy boy chairs with alarms you can rent by the hour in a quiet area, so you can sleep between flights. 3. Mini spa where you can get a massage or foot rub or pedicure in a comfortable chair. 4. Enough seating for everyone who may be waiting for flights. A few weeks ago, I was in the St. Juan airport, too early to check in for my flight, and was directed to go upstairs to their lounge. This area was enormous, but there were only about 20 seats in an area that could have held hundreds. What a waste and insult to passengers, restricted from checking into their gate because they arrived at the airport too early. 5. Movie theaters showing first-run film sure would be a great way to kill a long layover. 6. Wide variety of restaurants, including multi-course tasting menu type things to kill time. It should go without mentioning that the above items should be provided at reasonable cost, not the overly inflated airport prices we are all subjected to. I freaking hate buying $4 water. I usually bring a refillable bottle, $18 sandwiches and dollar store earbuds for megabucks because I forgot something, or it wasn't convenient due to complex, multi-day travel plans. I understand that space restrictions make many options impossible, but when they are building new airports or new terminals, why aren't they maximizing the space? I see so many airports with multi-story atriums. Sure, it's nice to see some sky before being crammed into a metal tube, but so many of us are stuck spending time waiting for delayed flights and inconvenient connections. That space would be much better utilized providing services for passengers. Why not go a few stories underground if space doesn't allow for service above ground? One of the worst experiences is Fort Lauderdale Airport. With thousands of cruise passengers going through there daily, the terminal is woefully inadequate. People sitting all over the floor, no decent restaurant or shops. The place is a disgrace and a wasted opportunity. So many people are killing hours after their cruise waiting for their flights. Offer them some retail and dining opportunities. The profits could be great. The Starbucks in the Southwest Terminal has only 2 cash registers. The line is usually 30 or 40 people long and takes 20 minutes. You'd think they would have designed the store to serve more people. They don't need to. There's no competition.